I crashed my ex's wedding after she cheated on me with my cousin. Well, that's what you call keeping it in the family. Hey everybody, welcome back. All right, the title of this story is I purposefully ruined my cousin and ex's wedding, and it's brought me a lot of happiness. I once looked up to my cousin. I thought he was a great guy and we were close, like brothers.
You guys are Eskimo brothers.
I was also dating a girl. I was deeply in love with her and planned to marry her someday. I thought my life was perfect. One day, I came home early because a colleague offered to cover my shift. I was pretty tired, so I accepted and went home. Arriving home, I found them in my bed, having
They looked like they were having fun.
spicy dancing time. Both of them were shocked, to say the least. I told them I wanted them to be gone by the time I got back and left the house. They were gone by the time I did get back, but she left me a note telling me she was sorry and to call her when I'd calmed down.
No, I don't think I will.
I didn't call her. I texted her saying I'd gather her things and drop them off at Cousins in a few days and that she's staying with him now, not me. Ooh. I followed through with that. It took about a week to transfer everything. Both of them tried to apologize, but I didn't have anything nice to say to them, so I said nothing. I just knocked on the door and handed them the bags to whoever answered before leaving. My cousin called me multiple times to try to apologize, but I refused to accept it. I mean, is he really sorry? Doesn't sound like it. 3 years have passed since then. I went no contact with them. I didn't bring it up to the rest of my family or any of their friends. I'm not sure why. I just didn't. I got a call from a number I didn't recognize, so I answered. It was my cousin. He sounded really happy and was acting like he hadn't destroyed my life. Ooh, that would piss me off. He explained that he and my ex were getting married and he wanted me to be his best man.
Why would I want to?
OP can probably think of a million things he would rather do. This is not high on the list. I yelled at him and called him names before hanging up. He sent me a text telling me the offer still stood, and if I didn't want to be his best man, then he just simply wouldn't have one. Okay. A few days passed by, and I had an idea. I texted him back and apologized. I sent a paragraph of bull saying I was still angry, but this could be an opportunity for the three of us to heal and move past it. He was overjoyed and said he'd pay for everything and he'd help me pick out a suit if I wanted, which I accepted because I sure as scheisse wasn't going to spend any money on his stupid wedding if I could help it. Das a scheisse, okay? Das a major scheisse.
You make a poop in the party.
The wedding day came. I had spent the week prior writing a speech, putting all the negative feelings I had bottled up over the years into words on paper. Ooh, yeah, see, this is a bold move. Participating in cheating and then asking the person whose life you ruined to give a speech at your wedding. That's kind of like with a server that handles your food. The wedding was pretty good. I'm sure one of them has some nice, well-paying job or something because they must have spent a decent bit of money on this wedding from how nice it was. Our entire family was there, as was a decent chunk of my ex's family. Eventually, the time came for my speech. For those who are just listening, Charlotte just made her scary little gremlin face. I just remember feeling really nervous as it built up to it, and my voice kept faltering when I was reading it out, but I didn't and still don't care. At least I got it out. I explained what these two horrible people had done to me. I called them the worst names I could think of and wished them the worst.
I wish you well. In hell.
Then I left. I was expecting some kind of dramatic moment from all the gasps of shock and all that, but there was none of that. Everyone was silent. That's because everyone probably agrees with you. On my way home, I got a call from my mother angrily telling me I'd ruined their wedding, and both of them were so upset, and she asked me why I'd do this. I can think of a few reasons. I told her that they deserved it for what they'd done to me and everything I'd said in the speech was true. She kept defending them, so I swore at her and hung up. Since then, I've gotten several calls and texts from others in mine and my ex's family, angry I ruined the wedding. I also received a few texts from people who were there, being supportive and telling me they were there if I needed to talk. I'm not sure if I feel better having done this, but it did bring me great catharsis when people were telling me the wedding was ruined. At least now they've felt, at the very least, a fraction of what they made me feel. Just a little edit to address some common questions. As far as I'm aware, the rest of the family wasn't aware of her cheating on me. They likely knew we were dating at some point, then we weren't. I mean, yeah, you never really talked about it, and I can't really see her being very forthcoming about that. Doesn't really make her look very good, does it?
Oh yeah, I'm dating this new guy. It's actually my ex's cousin. And like, you know, we started seeing each other while me and my ex were still together. We cheated. No biggie, but now we're getting married, yay!
Yeah, that didn't happen. I've learned from previous stuff that I can't rely on family for any kind of support, so I've been on low contact with them since I moved out of my parents' house, which is why I didn't mention this to anyone in my family. A lot of people are also asking for the speech transcript. I wrote it in a Google Doc and read it out from my phone. The delivery was kind of lackluster. I sounded like I was gonna cry and tripped over my words, but I managed to read it all out. It isn't verbatim what I said, but it's very close as I was reading from this as a general script. Oh, we've got the script. We have the script, my friends. Why am I nervous? Like, I'm a little nervous, guys. Wait, okay. Hello, everyone. I'm not very good at public speaking, so apologies in advance. It's an honor to be at this wedding, and it's an even greater honor to be the best man. I was shocked that I was even invited at all, since the last time I'd spoken to the bride and groom was when I found them in my own bed. Ex's name was my partner at the time, you see, but I don't think she got the memo that when you're dating someone, you don't F their cousin in your partner's bed. And it wasn't like cousin's name didn't know we were dating either. Who knows how long this slimy, bad word for lady parts, was giggity-gooing her behind my back. Weeks, months. For those unaware, X and I had been dating for 2 years. I loved her with all my heart and was actually saving up to get a proposal ring. Maybe if X wasn't such a, cousin would be giving this speech instead, and I wouldn't have been struggling with my mental health for 3 years. Anyway, I've heard 50% of marriages end in divorce. I hope yours is a messy one. From the bottom of my heart, F you both. You ruined my life, and I will never forgive either of you. Huh. Well, that's a speech. See, even I'm silent. Anyways, it's what you said. I kind of wish that you had gotten more mad at your cousin, honestly. Like, yes, it's your partner is like awful, but like would have loved some nasty words for your cousin as well instead of just your ex. But I'm just saying, honestly, it is kind of really dumb to ask OP to speak at their wedding after all of this. Truthfully, don't know why they did that, except they feel bad. Also, the message that OP sent probably made them think that like, oh, like let bygones be bygones. For the record, if you do this, don't ask the person whose life you ruined to speak at your wedding. You're just asking for trouble. Thank you for sharing, OP. That was a spicy one. We've got some more wedding drama for you. Don't go anywhere. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. Stay a while. This was posted in the Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. It's a beefy one. She's thick, she's chunky. I got kicked out of my brother's wedding party.
It's tea time.
I, female 30, got engaged in 2023. I'm the middle child with 2 brothers on either side, 28 and 33. A few months after getting engaged, I asked all the people I wanted to be in my bridal party. It was all family because family is extremely important to me. Sister-in-law on fiance's side, both of my brothers as co-men of honor, and both of my brother's girlfriends. I'm very close with all of them and spent a lot of time with all of them. Fast forward to about a year later, May 2024, and my brother proposed to his girlfriend. I was very happy for them, and I was asked to be a bridesmaid in my sister-in-law's party a few months later. Shortly after their engagement, it started to hit the fan. My brother started talking about getting married the same month as myself and my fiance, October 2025. Okay. Why? Literally 2 weeks after or 2 weeks before. Immediately, my mom said that would be unfair and a lot on the family. They ended up deciding to get married in August 2026 instead. Like, is it that deep? Sometimes it's that deep, honestly. Truthfully, it is kind of hard to pick sometimes to have like a choice. Like, you can have hope to pick the wedding date that you want, but it's kind of dependent on like venues and whether the venue has space. My family and I have also been discussing starting a family the year after we get married. We're older and our lives have been on hold for about 2.5 years as I've been finishing my master's. I graduate August 2025 and I'm currently on a work placement that's unpaid since January 2025. I had to cut back on work hours and my fiance has been picking up the slack with our bills as we struggled to scrape together money to finish paying off our wedding. While discussing our plans around starting a family, my sister-in-law got very upset, stating I could not be pregnant at her wedding. My brother swooped in and started cracking jokes to try and diffuse her anger, which worked, but you could still tell she was upset. Other people's uteruses are none of your business. None of your beeswax. I've been telling my family for about a year now that the summer of 2025 would be a really busy time for me and financially a struggle, so not to expect much from me. We scheduled my bachelorette party for September 2025 to ensure I was done school and had more free time. Well, my sister-in-law decided she wanted to do her bachelorette party in August 2025, a year in advance. Okay, see, remember what I said about it being deep? It is that deep. I had to tell her I wouldn't be able to make the whole thing because I have to be at practicum on the weekends and I can't book it off. If I don't get all of my hours in time, I have to extend my placement and I really don't want to do that. As far as I was aware, she was understanding and assured me I could come the Friday and she'd be happy with that. A few months later, the group chat with the bridesmaids start. Love a little group chat. I don't, but for the most part, I like it, but that's kind of where the drama is, so. As long as I'm not involved in it, I like it. I first tell the maid of honor I can't make the whole weekend and I got a lot of pushback. Things like, can't you just book it off? Why can't you stay the night Friday and drive back early Saturday morning? Keep in mind, it's a 2-hour drive and I have to be there for 8:30 a.m. My practicum is as a therapist, so I have to be able to present with my clients and support them emotionally. Something that's hard to do when you're tired or hungover. I politely explained why I couldn't do these things, and I had already spoken to the bride about this. The maid of honor continued to push back, and I called my brother, who immediately launched to solve the problem. The maid of honor finally laid off. A few weeks later, we start discussing budget for the bachelorette, and I explained I couldn't afford to help pay for the whole weekend, which my brother and sister-in-law were aware of. I offered to pay for sister-in-law's drinks and food on the Friday while I was there. That's what credit cards are for. The bridesmaids got upset, and comments were made like, if you really loved her, you'd pay the money.
I'm all out of money!
Well, no. Love is not synonymous with money.
Why can't you just pay $25 instead? I have to drop down work hours to go to school and I don't have a partner to pick up the slack, but I'm still making it work.
They were all very rude until one of the bridesmaids, who happens to be the sister of the bride, commented she spoke to their mom, who offered to cover all the bride's costs so it didn't stress anyone out. All of a sudden, all the bridesmaids were fine to pay for everything. I spoke privately to the maid of honor, explaining I didn't appreciate her constantly pushing back at my boundaries. The maid of honor blew up and started sending me screenshots of our conversation, demanding to know at one point she didn't respect my boundaries, and all of her comments were in regards to ensuring I was having a good time. I don't really think it's possible to have a good time if you're really worried about money. I think you've made it perfectly clear that you're listen, I can't show up fully. If you need me to show up fully for this with regards to money, I can't do that. Money doesn't just magically appear. And quite frankly, I think this, it's customary to pay for the bride and stuff, but I also think that not everybody can afford that, and we have to be understanding of that. And furthermore, if we really want people to be at our bachelorettes, we have to be willing to kind of pick up the slack. We either have to be fine with people not being involved or being able to pay for all of it, or we have to be willing to pick up the slack in a monetary sense. If you really care about people being at these events, I think that you need to make it as easy for them as possible. Otherwise, be fine with them not coming. A few months later, I had a bridesmaid dress picked out but not purchased yet because I couldn't afford it until after my own wedding. I had to explain this several times to my sister-in-law, who kept asking me about it. She also approved the dress. Shortly after this, the bride stated she didn't like the dress I picked out and wanted me to wear spaghetti straps like the other brides. I have a very large chest and can't wear things with tiny straps because I need more support. The other bridesmaids are all tiny with small chests. I tried to express my concerns and the bride thought I was arguing the color of the dress, which I was not. I started sending other dress options, all of which she turned down. She started sending me dresses with very small, skinny straps and deep neckline cuts. I got frustrated and just said fine to the last dress she sent. After this, I met with my brother and we all talked it over. I was able to communicate my frustrations and struggles over how everything was playing out. I left that conversation feeling really good. A few days later, sister-in-law sent me a letter indicating she wanted me to step down because I couldn't offer them my undivided time and attention that they needed right now. Okay, fine.
You got it, dude.
Here's the thing. If you step up to be a bridesmaid in people's bridal parties, there are things that people are going to ask of you, okay? But I think all of these things have to be within reason. This was in April 2025, over a year away from their wedding. I was hurt because I felt like I was very honest about what this time frame would look like for me, and they'd stated they were okay with it. Keep in mind, I also spent money I didn't have and time I didn't have to help them throw a surprise engagement party that none of the bridesmaids helped with, and some didn't even come to. Okay, so you did show up in ways that, like, you showed up in other ways, is the point that I'm trying to make. When I met with sister-in-law and brother, I was told by sister-in-law I owed the bridesmaids an apology. For what? What for? I couldn't tell you, she never specified. She also told me they have high expectations of their wedding party and the time and money that gets devoted to their wedding. Saying this while also not putting in the time and effort she should have to be in my own wedding, by the way. Ooh. I was told it was better for me to step down because of the tension in the party with me and the other bridesmaids, and this would create too much stress for sister-in-law day of the wedding. My brother made a comment that indicated he was not part of this decision and disagreed with it, but had to have his future wife's back. My fiance, who was a groomsman, respectfully backed down to have my back, which you can imagine very much upset my sister-in-law. Oh no.
Your actions have consequences.
Best part of this all is sister-in-law's mom now wants to wear a white dress to their wedding. Sister is getting a divorce and doesn't want sister-in-law talking about her wedding right now. And her friend wants to celebrate her birthday at the bachelorette. Oh, is she gonna love that? My family is angry about what happened, and none of them are talking about their wedding with her anymore. This wedding sounds like it's going to be a dumpster fire, and although I'm hurt about being kicked out, I'm glad I can sit back and watch it without having to deal with it directly. Yeah, honestly, at this point, it's kind of not your circus, not your monkey. And like, the fact of the matter is you were the scapegoat with this particular issue, but they're just gonna move on to someone else. You know, it genuinely is not this crazy in terms of bridal parties and weddings and drama all the time. Like, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of drama at weddings, speaking from experience. But like, I tend to find that like, if we're setting the tone for the drama, it's gonna keep coming up. So people in the comments are kind of saying like, obviously your sister-in-law was in competition with you. I mean, like, that's why I say, is it that deep? Yes, it is. Like, she's the one that picked this wedding so soon, knowing that you weren't going to be able to show up because you have your own wedding. It doesn't surprise me, but anyway. So we do have an update. So I just had my wedding and my sister-in-law was pretty great. She was supportive, helpful, and kind to everyone. I started to wonder if we had maybe come to a better place until a few days ago when we were at a family event. My aunt asked her about her wedding party, and the summary of what she shared was that it was a mutual decision and implied I never had been asked to be in the wedding party because I was too busy. My aunt pushed a little, and her story shifted to that I may be pregnant and could be nauseous or tired. She didn't want me to be uncomfortable, but was planning to ask me to be a blue person. The is a blue person?
I'm afraid I just blew myself.
Which is someone who still participates in all the wedding-related events, but is not able to commit to being a bridesmaid. This means I was asked to come get ready the morning of, go to rehearsal, dinner, etc. Okay. Didn't realize that there was like a designated term for that, but okay. Now, where I'm confused is I was told back in March, one of the reasons she was kicking me out was because of the conflict between me and the bridesmaids, and she wanted a calm, relaxing morning, not people uncomfortable around each other. Yeah, that's a good point. Why does she want you there the day of? Can tell you that like most of the time brides do not want like animosity in the getting ready process. You know, it's like we need like calm, we need Prosecco, we need good vibes. I'm surprised about this. I'm also feeling like, I don't know, maybe she like doesn't have anybody else at this point. Maybe she ran out. Is it possible? Okay, I might be reaching here, but like, is it possible that like other people have kind of dropped out and now she needs you back? Anyways, okay. Now I'm hearing she does want me there, which tells me that was never actually one of the reasons she kicked me out. I haven't asked to be a blue person yet, but I have been asked to wear blue to the wedding. Oh dear, is this after you already bought a dress? I personally want to directly ask her about all the changing stories and say no to being a blue person when she asks me. I also want to actively not wear blue. I think it's unfair she did this really crappy thing and is now acting like it never happened. But if I do anything to stand up for myself, I know I'll be painted as the villain in this situation. If someone kicked me out of their wedding, the last thing I would want to do is now show up and be told like where to go and like what to do and like be needed in that regard. Cause it's like, no, dude, like you already said you don't want me involved. Now you're like probably needing someone there. I fail to understand why she just needs all these people around her to do all these things at all times. Like I'm just...
It's just a baby.
I cannot stand people that are not independent. Like, I just cannot stand it.
I just a baby.
Okay, let's see if there's any clues in the comments. This isn't complicated. If asked, decline. If asked to elaborate, do. This isn't a court summons. You aren't required to say yes. I try to do it calmly and as non-confrontational as possible. Yeah, I mean, very good point. She's not the queen and she's not, like, you're not her lady in waiting. And by the way, congratulations on your wedding, OP. I'm glad it went okay. Oh, interesting thing to note. OP updated in the comments. She showed up to a wedding barbecue my parents threw for my husband and I before our wedding to bring both families together wearing a sweater that indicated she was a bride and engaged. It felt very pick-me energy. We do have another update. I know. I told you. She's a chonky one. Recently, one of the bridesmaids from the wedding party reached out to me via text and apologized to me for how she reacted in the group chat. It was over a year ago at this point, and I was genuinely shocked to see the message, but also not surprised. More recently, our paths have crossed in a role where I hold little more power than her. I won't say exactly what just to protect people's privacy. Despite me holding a little more power, her apology was very sincere, respectful, and kind. She acknowledged how her words could have hurt me and how she should have acted with more empathy for my situation. Shortly after our text exchange clearing the air, the maid of honor reached out and also apologized, prompted by the other bridesmaid. Her apology was less sincere feeling. It came across more like focused on how it was a hard time for her and she did her best. Her actions were not reflective of who she was and she knows she's better than that. It briefly acknowledged the hurt she caused, but barely. It felt more like I should clear the air because my friend did and not because she felt she did anything wrong. I acknowledged her apology, but didn't offer her one of my own, like I did for the other bridesmaid. My apology was focused on how I could have been more assertive versus aggressive around setting my boundaries. I wanted to make it clear that I did nothing wrong with setting the boundary, but could have been a bit nicer in how I did it. And even then, I think I did it pretty nicely. Well, that's good. I mean, I think it's important, even if you're like not sorry, I think it's important to sort of like concede in a way, just to like bury the hatchet, whatever. I feel like there's two things happening here. Either they're realizing that you were actually like, you were right to set boundaries early on, or your sister-in-law needs something from you. And she wants the other bridesmaids. She told them to apologize because she needs you to do something. God, I just wouldn't be surprised, okay? Like maybe it's a genuine apology, blah, 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 but like I wouldn't be surprised. At this point, I'm not even sure how I feel about this whole situation. I was debating not attending the rehearsal dinner later this year before the wedding, as one of the reasons my sister-in-law cited for kicking me out was the beef between me and the bridesmaids would make her feel uncomfortable day of the wedding if we were all in the same room. She didn't want to feel uncomfortable on and around her wedding day. For this logic, I was debating not attending the rehearsal dinner, citing her reasoning back to her. Now, I obviously can't use that given they will tell her we cleared the air. That's what I'm saying though. I'm saying that because she wanted you to clear the air because she needs something. It could just be that like she needs more people around her, but I literally fail to understand why though. Sister-in-law is still behaving like a bit of a spoiled child. At Christmas, I was handing out thank you cards to my family for my own wedding with photos I printed for them all. She was handing out their wedding invites. I will say she was polite and waited her turn patiently as they looked through my stuff. Later in the evening, my brother made a joke about her shoving invites at people, just playful teasing. She said in a whiny voice,
It's my turn.
As if girl had even let me and my husband have our turn when it was our wedding. I'm not trying to read into everything she does, but honestly, it's hard not to. I barely speak to her and my brother anymore, and the divide between them and the rest of the family is slowly growing quite large. That's the update for now. The wedding is in August 2026. I mean, okay. Here's the thing. You can read into everything, but I think it's better unless something else happens to just like simmer. You know, let's just simmer. Don't be someone that ruins her wedding. Like, don't bring more animosity, because something tells me this girl, drama follows her around. Like, I guarantee you there's gonna be other things that upset her. Like, don't add to it unless she does something to deserve it. I'm just saying, okay? Like, let's just simmer. Arm's length, you know, kind of like take everything at face value for now, but like clock it, you know, like don't forget, but like let's just move forward with grace. I think that you could go to the rehearsal dinner. I think that you could, you know, do all the things that she wants you to do, you know, be there the morning of. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, more of her bridesmaids, you know, she has falling outs with them and you're like all that's left, and that's why she asked you. I do not understand why she now has her tail between her legs and now wants you to like come back and still attend. This is a very good piece of advice in the comments. I would join if invited and be the most chilled out person in the room. Nothing bothers you. Gray rock the hell out of everyone snuffing for drama. See, this is very important, right? So just not my circus, not my monkey. If there's drama in the room, leave the room, go to the bathroom, whatever. Simply because you don't want her to be able to point any drama in your direction. She's doing a fine job setting the fire to the family bridges all herself. You don't need her to toss gasoline on you as well. It will piss her and her drama crew off that you don't care about them and their antics don't bother you. How dare you not care that you're not in the party? Yeah, I literally fail to understand why she's like being required to attend these things. Don't attend anything that isn't in full view of your family and your support. Rehearsal dinner, good. Get ready with her and her bridge crew. Nope. With your hubby and getting ready together, sorry. Okay, that's fair. To me, I think that you could go for like a bit. Hopefully the vibes are good, depending on like where the getting ready area is in relation to like where you're staying or whatever. Like if it's inconvenient, don't, but like, you know, go, drop by, have a little Prosecco. If the vibes are good, stay. And then if the vibes suck, just leave. I don't know. I'm only saying that because sometimes it's fun to be like getting ready with the bride. I'm just saying, like the vibes are really good, usually. Don't respond to anything that isn't in writing or the witnesses that support you. As things continue to go bad with her and her family, she's gonna look to blame someone else, as obviously it could never be her fault. Best case scenario, your brother wakes up and gets her in line or leaves her, but worst case, you wanna be as clean as snow when the muck starts flying to protect your relationship with your brother. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you mostly. Stay out of it. If the vibes suck, just leave. OP said there's nothing else about the whole blue person thing. She hasn't asked her. Someone said to add my 2 cents about the rehearsal dinner, since you aren't a part of the bridal party and you aren't traveling from far away, don't feel like you have to go. OP said that's my thought. I mean, I am family, so I can see why people say I should go. My concern is I've already been asked to watch their dog and the food while they're at the wedding venue doing the rehearsal. Well, that's contradictory. It feels like I'm being asked to be a butler or do menial tasks. To me, that says I'm not super valued as a family member. The rest of my family will be at the venue with them. Oh, that's interesting. I'm interested to see how this plays out, OP. I ain't gonna lie. Keep us updated. Am I the a-hole for booking my wedding on someone else's birthday? All rise. You may be seated. My fiance, 38 male, call him A, and I, 34 female, have been together for nearly 9 years. We were planning to get married this year, however, had to postpone due to a family member being told they had a terminal illness. The family member was told they only had 1 year. We postponed as the 1 year mark fell right around our planned wedding date in August 2026. We pushed it back 1 year, so now it is August 2027. Okay, so you're literally already accommodating a lot of people. Fair enough. My best friend is getting married in August 2027, so that's one weekend I can't book. I asked my fiance what date we should book for August 2027, and he said just pick a date. So I contacted our reception venue and they gave me a list of their availability, and I placed a deposit with the flexibility to move it within August. I then contacted our registry office and asked for their availability. Between the two venues, there's only 2 available dates. One of the dates is a morning wedding. And with the amount of time it takes to get ready for a wedding, I refuse to get married in the morning because it's just too stressful. Bro, like, I can't even imagine like the amount of stress that, I don't know, it's like a mix between like stress and excitement, right? Because you want everything to go well. You're excited for the day. Everybody's there, you know, like, especially if you have a rehearsal dinner or whatever, you drink that night as well. So it's just like, I would not want to get up at like 5 a.m. to do my makeup after that. Like, I want to ease into the day and be able to enjoy it and not be tired. I totally get that. So that left only the final date. Now, this final date happens to fall on A's best man's, call him B, daughter's birthday. I'm sorry, what? I thought you were gonna say someone like literally in the wedding party. B is no longer with his baby mama, so they have shared custody. I've spoken to B's ex and explained the situation, and she seemed understanding but a little annoyed. She told me she would have a think about it and get back to me about if her daughter would attend the wedding. It doesn't really sound like this is something you can control, honestly. B has said if his daughter can't attend the wedding, then he won't be able to be best man, and now A is saying if B is not best man, then he won't get married.
What is going on here?
B has said that I could have booked any of the 365 days of the year, but I haven't. That's not entirely true, actually. Then told me, it's fine, I'm used to my daughter getting pushed out.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Well, I mean, hold on. Like, I don't think that you're opposed to having the daughter there. You told the ex. Is it a no child wedding? I haven't booked this to push his daughter out. His daughter was supposed to be one of my bridesmaids. I said I'm happy for his daughter to have a birthday cake at the wedding for her and to have presents at the wedding, but nothing seems good enough. Apparently, B was speaking with his ex last night, and his ex is allegedly furious that I booked my wedding on his daughter's birthday. Sorry, who is this person to you? Like, I'm confused. Why is she furious, though? Because, like, then her ex will be able to celebrate. Okay. My argument is that I'm trying to book it across 2 different companies in peak wedding season and availability is limited. I mean, that's a fair assessment. Yeah. We are working to a very tight, strict budget, and I've been asked why I cannot move venues or change the date. What nobody seems to be understanding is that I've already put money down to secure venues and dates. Yeah. Wedding dates are not chosen lightly, okay? Like that was one of the things that it honestly took like weeks to decide. Because yeah, we did have things in mind where it's like, it was my birthday, it's my dad's birthday, it's like, it's our brother-in-law's and sister-in-law's wedding date as well. So their anniversary date, sorry. They got married a year before. So we had all those things in mind and we did our best to book a date that like accommodated everyone. And even then, I think it ended up being one person's birthday at our wedding. He was totally fine with it though. Like, I mean, he was in Italy, like drinking for free, eating for free. He didn't care. He's like, yeah, this is the best birthday ever. Like, my dress has been picked based on a summer wedding, so I can't be moving it to a colder season.
You don't need to justify yourself to me.
Okay, like, listen, sometimes I can see people try to like justify their actions with regards to their wedding dates. Point blank, you picked a date that was available. That's it. You don't have to like grasp at straws and like say all these things about like,
Oh, I can't do this because of this.
like, listen, it's okay. You picked your wedding date because you picked your wedding date. And due to, as eldest daughter, my bonus daughter in school in the South, we can only have a wedding during school holidays. That being said, the school holidays for the North and South are rarely at the same time. For 2027, the school holidays that are the same are the summer half term and the summer holidays. Right now, I really feel the most important person to A is B, not me and not our daughters. Okay, that's fair. Okay, I see why you said that now. Yeah, but like also B is kind of like putting the cart before the horse and sort of assuming that like his daughter won't be invited to the wedding or something. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for booking my wedding on someone's birthday? No, like there's only 365 days in a year. And like, even then there's only so many wedding dates and weekend dates available for weddings. Someone's gonna have to share a date with your anniversary. Like I'm just saying someone is gonna have to share an important date with your wedding. Edit to add, I'm not mad at B for wanting to spend the day with his daughter, but A, B, B's ex, and now B's new missus are making it seem and feel like I'm worse than for booking it on B Junior's birthday. At least that's how it feels. No, I think B's kind of being a little bit of a drama queen, honestly. Edit to add number 2, my dress was purchased based on the book date of August 2026. The venues picked were based on what we both wanted, number of guests, and our budget. I did extensive research before booking the 2026 date. That's what people don't seem to understand. Like having to accommodate everyone is so unbelievably hard for your wedding. We did our best, but like unfortunately, it's really not possible to accommodate everyone. And I think what most people don't understand is there is so much going on behind the scenes to like be able to accommodate everyone. I had someone like drop out of our wedding the week before, or no, what happened? The friend dropped out literally 2 weeks before, I think, and said that she couldn't make it to the wedding. That's fine. You know, it is what it is. We spent an hour, we moved around the seating chart, we submitted the seating chart. Then a week before the wedding, she contacted me again and was like, hey, so turns out I actually do want to come to your wedding. Like, can I still come? And at this point, I was like, no, like you can't. Like, we literally spent an hour rearranging the seating chart. The seating chart has been submitted. We had little cards printed, you know, like party favors and stuff, like personalized. At this point, it was like I wanted her there, but at the same time, it's like, you told me you couldn't come. And now you're saying you can? Like, anyways, there was so much being done behind the scenes. And by this point, by the way, I was already in Italy. I was like every single day I was, you know, paying deposits and things related to the wedding, like setting like hours aside on my like trip, my family trip to celebrate our wedding, to be able to accommodate, you know, like all the things that happen before the wedding, all the fires that need to be put out. I didn't want another thing added to my list where I now have to skip out on like a wedding related dinner before to accommodate this guest who like literally told me she couldn't come like a month before the wedding. But you know, it's kind of hard for people to understand that. There's so much going on where you're trying to accommodate everyone. So much research is being done, time is being spent. Just like for the record, like be nice to our brides. It's stressful. So short of have a community hall for a reception, there's not anything else within our budget, and A doesn't want a community hall for the reception. I should also argue that your husband's being, like, I understand him wanting his best man there, but like you're doing your best to accommodate him as well. One more edit to add, B shares 50-50 custody on birthdays. So X, Mrs. B, and has B Jr. half the day, and B has her the other half of the day. I have offered to have a birthday cake and presents for B Jr., as well as extending an invitation to X, Mrs. B, to allow her to spend the whole day with B Jr. B wants me and A to go talk to his ex, so I'll update once that happens. So we do have an update. So B Jr. is 6 years old. So we went to B's house. The kids had a play date while the adults talked. I told them the date is booked and is non-refundable or transferable. A said that he wants B as best man. I told A if B is so important, he can marry B and I'll take our children and move out. Oh, period. Okay, clock it. A then said he loves me and does want to marry me, so he will do the wedding without B as best man. Okay. A has apologized for what he said, that he doesn't want to lose me, that me and our children are everything to him. Okay, that's good. Cause like, I don't really like this whole like,
well, I'm not getting married if B isn't my best.
B is being a little bit of a drama queen, okay?
Make it real.
B then added his 2 pence, saying if we are happy to have the wedding without him there for A and have it all with my family and friends and no one there for A, then that's fine.
The real drama queen.
Why is this person trying to strong arm you into changing your wedding date? Like some friend, I'm sorry. I did remind A and B that the guest list is large due to A's friends and family, and my guest list is only a quarter of the size of A's list. New Mrs. B chimed in saying our wedding would always overshadow B's birthday. Oh my God. Shut up. Literally shut up. I.e. if we had an anniversary party. Oh my God. Bugger off. I told her straight that it wouldn't be because anniversary parties tend not to happen until the 25-year mark. By then, B Jr. would be an adult, but also anniversary parties can be held on other dates. It doesn't have to be on the exact date. Like, this is so dumb. I'm sorry. Why are you even pandering to these people? Like, this is so stupid.
This isn't about you.
Shut up. It's none of your business. Suck it up. I also told them all, rather than play victim and attack me for the date booked, why don't they all go on at X Mrs. B and get her to change her mind? Not one of them had a thing to say. Yeah, I fail to understand why you are not being accommodated. You and your wedding are not being accommodated. And like, we're just doing everything that B's ex wants. Like, who is this woman to you? No one. She's not a friend. She's not a family member. Like, I said if B really wanted to be there for A as best man, he would. It is B's choice to be there or not. I agree with that. I also asked B, why not ask B Jr. what she wants to do on her birthday? If B Jr. wants to be a bridesmaid on her birthday and he said no, that would be seen as trying to weaponize the child and the day.
I'm saying it was a choice. Where's my choice? Where's my choice?
That is a very good point. Like, how come, like, have we even talked to the kid about this whole birthday situation? Why is he being so, I don't know, whatever. B has said he's going to keep pushing for X Mrs. B to allow it, but to plan the wedding without them in the bridal party. If any other drama comes up, I can update if people are interested. I have a feeling more drama could be coming. So yeah, even people in the comments are like, why is everyone being considered but you? Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I would think that you can play that bride card, please accommodate me in my wedding just this once. Like, literally just this once. Hopefully just once. People are pointing out, the guy said he wouldn't marry me if his friend wouldn't be there. I would have walked away from him. I agree with that. I'm not really liking why the fiance said that. It seems really dumb. He's being a bit of a groomzilla. I can understand like wanting your friends there, but like his friend is also being really unreasonable. I don't think you're the a-hole. I think that you did your best to accommodate everyone, but at the end of the day, this is your wedding and you need to accommodate yourself too. And everybody else also needs to try to accommodate you. If not, it's all good. Don't be there. Not the a-hole. And I don't want to see another thing about it in the comment section. Shut up. My former best friend ruined our ceremony. My husband and I got married a few months ago. We had a very small wedding, 35 guests, with a short ceremony and reception afterwards. Overall, the whole weekend was beautiful. We are rather nomadic and we had friends travel in from all over the country to be there. Lots of love and celebration. However, I wouldn't be here if there wasn't any drama. A few months prior to the wedding, I asked my best friend to be our officiant. As wedding planning went underway, I checked in with her several times to make sure she was comfortable and preparing her for her part. She assured me she was there for me however I needed her to be. My husband and I created a script for her to read with very specific wording. She had a copy of it sent to her in the week prior to the wedding and confirmed that it was beautiful. Okay, so you did a lot of the lift work yourself. You created the script? Crazy. The only section I left up for her was the intro. I wanted her to put something personal there. She knew both of us and she knew how special this day was, especially to me, as this was my second wedding and she had been there for the disaster of my first marriage and what that turned out to be. I had never thought I would ever want to be married again, and yet I found this wonderful man and she has seen how wonderful he is as well. Well, the day of the wedding came and it all went to hell quickly. I'll spare the full details, but basically leading up to me walking down the aisle, it was all about her and her life drama. Oh, stop. Oh, please spare me. No. Oh my God. I ended up being incredibly stressed the entire morning trying to manage her feelings when it should have been my day. This also happened to a friend of mine. Her officiant, like, I think just broke up with someone and she was kind of dumping on my friend who was getting married that day. And like, she was like, dude, like, I remember her being like, honestly, like if she tries to talk to me about it again, I'm gonna have to tell her like very nicely, not today. The officiant wasn't even friends with her either. The last thing a bride wants to do on their wedding day is like pick up someone else off the ground, you know, like carry the emotional weight of someone else. Like, no, like, please do your friends a favor. If they're getting married, just like give them one day to not hear about it. Like just one day. Like, so for the ceremony, she walked down ahead of me. She enters in and immediately exclaims, everyone is shocked, but my husband tries to recover, get her set up with a clip microphone for our live stream. We were running everything ourselves with no wedding planner. She doesn't want a mic, which in retrospect was actually probably good because at least our live stream viewers couldn't hear what happened next. Oh, I'm scared, but I also can't stop reading.
This is just so brutal, and yet I can't look away.
I walk in with my dad, and we're finally ready to begin the ceremony. She says a few housekeeping things and then turns to us. Here are the highlights of what happened. 1, after saying sweet things about me in her intro, she looks at my husband and said,
I don't really know you.
Oh my God, no, you make something up, babe, no. 2, she then gestures to us and starts our vows. We hadn't done the I do's yet, which was in the script. I had to stop, get a copy of the script out of my own folder and hand it to her. She stops, reads a little, then does those. Oh my Lord. After our vows, she went completely off script again. She didn't have me repeat after her for the exchange of rings, but then turned to my husband and made him repeat after her. None of which she said was on the script either. After he finished repeating and after her, she said, good boy, and slapped his... Shut the front door. Stop right now. Like, literally stop right now. Thank you very much. Absolutely not. I am speechless. There's more. Number 4, she didn't say our introduction as husband and wife correctly either, just made it up and spoke like a ringmaster in a circus. It's literally not that hard. Like, you literally, all you had to do was read from a page. 5, throughout the ceremony and reception, she kept trying to fluff out the train of my dress when it wasn't necessary, including while my husband was reading his vows to me. She got up out of her seat, walked over and grabbed the train on my dress, did it twice. Honestly, like, I don't want to read into this, but like, I feel like she's kind of like sabotaging your wedding because of like her own going on. Ugh. This is the thing about weddings. They bring out the worst in people. People find it very hard to be happy for other people. Weddings are emotional. You know, it makes you look at your own life. It makes you compare. It's human nature. I would think twice about being friends with someone that could not just let you have a day without centering themselves and being a basket case. Like, I genuinely would, and I have. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm just saying. It sounds like this friend is very used to you being there for her always, and that might be the dynamic she likes the most. So this is all recorded. Every time I watch it, my blood pressure rises. It was so straightforward. All she had to do was look down and read that part. We had gone over the script, so it wasn't a surprise to her at all. No, like, I genuinely feel like it was kind of on purpose. I have since ended my friendship with her. Honestly, good. While I don't think it was intentional sabotage, the fact is, if it wasn't intentional sabotage, she didn't care enough to do a good job. And that's also bad. Okay? Her nervous reaction was to make it all a big joke and a spectacle, and it really, really hurt me. She has told everyone that she felt pressured into it. Ugh, please. It's like, honestly, it's a big job, right? Like, it makes people nervous, public speaking for other people. I've been there, but like, that's not an excuse to do a bad job. When that was not the case at all, I've had friends who happily would have done it, but as I said, I thought she would have had it together for her best friend's wedding. Everyone in the comments is like, she slapped his ass. What is wrong with this person? How can you, yeah. Like, the only thing I can think of was like, is she trying to like make it funny? Like, was that like, she's trying to lighten the mood and like, she wasn't, it's possible.
Oh, tough crowd.
But like, bestie. OP responded, in no circumstances would that be appropriate. I think people on her side don't see it as a big deal because she's a petite, bubbly woman. But if the role had been reversed and it had been a male officiant slapping my ass, hands would have been thrown quickly. Yeah. And like, even saying good boy, like, what? This is why I'm saying, like, you know, people who find it hard to like let someone else have the spotlight for a day, I genuinely think that there's something deeper at play. Jealousy's a big one, resentment. It's also just they've gotten used to a relationship where they're constantly the center of attention and you're constantly having to take care of them. And this is one instance where that dynamic is not the case. It's still kind of like a bit of a power play too. Like, it's like, anyways, point being, if someone does this at your wedding,
They're not your friends.
just rethink the relationship. In any capacity, if they are trying to like be a nutcase, if they're getting drunk, like if they're literally going over and above to just try and be the center of attention in any way, shape, or form, whether it's like playing the victim, getting drunk to the point where people have to take care of them, just like, you know, causing drama. There's so many ways in which people try to like divert attention toward them because they can't handle someone else having the spotlight. There's something deeper at play. I'm just saying. Am I the a-hole for leaving my sister's wedding early without telling anyone? I, 26 male, went to my sister's wedding last weekend. We were on okay terms, not super close, but not estranged or anything. I was a guest, not in the wedding party. From the start, the day felt off. There was a lot of last minute changes and stress, which I get. Weddings are chaos. But my sister kept snapping at me over small things, like asking me to move seats because
you're blocking the photographer.
Then later getting mad I moved because she wanted family together. At the reception, I was seated at a table with people I didn't really know, which was fine, except my place setting was missing. Ooh.
Definitely throwing shade.
Yeah, I can tell you that unless you're a +1 or you were invited last minute, that was not a mistake. Or if it was a mistake, it's a very hurtful mistake. It's also sitting at a table with people you don't know. Like, we had tables that were like overflow tables and we just like did our best to at least sit someone with someone else that they knew, like always.
The singles table, the kids table, the weird relatives table.
But those were the tables that were just like, either your party's too big to all be sat together, so we're putting you on your own, or like we just literally don't know where to put you because you don't know anyone, or you don't know many people. I'm just saying, like the overflow tables, like not putting people together, that's Not how I would do it. No name card, no food choice, nothing. I flagged a server and eventually got a plate, but it was clearly an afterthought. Ooh. I know this sounds minor, but combined with everything else, it kind of sucked. Yeah, you were an afterthought. You either were an afterthought or it was deliberate. I'm just saying. During speeches, my sister thanked everyone who really showed up for us and then specifically listed friends, coworkers, and even neighbors, but skipped me entirely. Again, I know it's not about me, but it still stung. Bombastic side eye. I understand that they're not close, but like, you still say it, you know? Unless you were like horrible to her, I fail to understand why she's treating you like an afterthought. By that point, I felt awkward, tired, and honestly unwanted. I don't blame you. I stayed through dinner, hugged my parents, and left quietly without saying goodbye to my sister. I didn't cause a scene or announce anything. The next day, she texted asking where I disappeared to and said it was hurtful that I left early and didn't say anything, especially since people noticed. I said I wasn't feeling great and didn't want to make it a thing. I actually prefer it when people like don't say goodbye, you know? It does become a thing. Like when you're saying goodbye to one person, you end up having to like go around and say goodbye. And then you come up with it's just better to just French exit. Now she's saying I was passive aggressive and that if I had an issue, I should have sucked it up for one night. My mom agrees and said weddings aren't about individual feelings. I mean, to be fair though, it kind of seemed like she didn't really consider you to begin with. Like, it's not like you were super important. You didn't include her in the speech. She didn't even put you somewhere where you knew anybody. Like, you were an afterthought. So I fail to understand why it was so important for you to be there. I get, you know, the whole weddings aren't about individual feelings thing, but like at the same time, I would also feel like I don't feel wanted. I don't think it was important for her to be there. A friend of mine thinks it's weird I was treated like an afterthought and then quietly leaving was fine. I honestly didn't intend it as a statement. I didn't feel like I belonged there anymore. Am I the a-hole? Listen, you could have stayed. You know, at the end of the day, I think that your feelings were definitely hurt. I had people leave early from my wedding because they had other things going on, and it's okay. Like, obviously I would have loved if they stayed, but I didn't hold it against them. Like, it is what it is. Yeah, I just like, I don't really think that she's in a place to be like,
you were meaningful to me and you left my wedding and that like hurt my feelings.
It's like, well, I wasn't meaningful enough for you to like even put my name on a table. I wasn't meaningful enough for you to even like pick something for me to eat. I don't know. I get why you left. I don't really like staying anywhere where I'm not wanted either. I understand it's your sister, but like, whatever.
I'm afraid that she brought this on herself.
Here's a good point. You did fine. She's mad because people asking about you meant she had to admit she hadn't paid attention and didn't care. She'll be fine, and so will your mom. If it was a real issue for your mother, she would have said so when you hugged her goodbye. That's a very good point. You did say goodbye to your mother. Why is it that she didn't try and get you to stay? She's not mad you left. Mom is mad she had no way to shut your sister up. I mean, the mom has a point. You know, weddings are not like for personal feelings. I do get that, and I preach that a lot. But I think in this case, like, it's like, it just seems like OP wasn't wanted there. Like, the whole day, she's just like being brushed aside. It's not like she made a scene. It's not like she went up to the bride and like complained about where she was sitting, which happened to me. I'm just saying. She just like quietly was like, okay, it's fine. I'll just leave. I failed to see an issue with that, honestly. And like, I don't even think that the sister would have noticed unless people pointed it out, which they did. Not the a-hole. She only cares because people asked where you were. And also she only noticed because people asked where you were. Not the a-hole. The guest list, table sitting, name cards, speeches are made prior to the wedding day. I would feel left out too. The part with move for the photographer and calling you back, I find that more normal, hectic behavior. And often we snap at family because we feel safe, that they will understand we don't mean it. Not saying it's a good thing, just more what often happens. Sounds like your sister's a bit of a golden child and mom being the enabler. I would also agree with that dynamic, yeah. I went to a family wedding once.
I lost something once.
All family members except me were seated at tables together. My assigned seat was at the opposite side of the room, alone at a table with people I didn't know. Yeah, honestly, at that point, like, I know that the seating chart was like super, super annoying and a pain because it was a destination wedding. At least, sorry to make it about me again, but this is, you know, all I have reference to.
It's all about me now.
In our case, it was a destination wedding. People were traveling really far. I wanted to make sure that they were sitting next to at least one person that they knew. because it's like, I don't know, it's just like kind of hard to just sit there for like, again, it's only a couple of hours. It is what it is. But like, you know, you want people to feel like safe in an environment. At least I know I like feeling safe in an environment where I don't know anybody. So seating them with someone they know is important. Not a family member came to say hello. That's also an issue. I left before dinner, even though it's been 5 years. I will never forget or forgive. Some people are pointing out there might be missing info. This post stinks of missing reasons.
Two sides to every story, right?
I also kind of had that thought too. It's like, why is there such an issue between the sisters? I don't understand. Maybe they had like a massive falling out that OP's not talking about. But even then, you know, like, fair enough. She left, you know, she didn't go somewhere where she isn't wanted. Maybe the sister had reasons for like excluding her or whatever, or making her feel unwanted. I don't know. I genuinely don't feel like it's ever okay to do this, honestly, with family. But like, based on what OP shared, I'm gonna go with not the a-hole, and we'll leave it at that. Subscribe